course of discussing movies, the host will spoil plots. You've been warned. Listen to their screams. Greetings, ghouls and creeps, and welcome to Listen to Their Screams, a horror podcast that feels like you're chatting with friends. I am one of your friends, Dave. We're joined as always by our other friend, Ike. Ike, how are you?
Hey, I'm not doing too shabby. Went to a random pizzeria the other day and yeah, almost got murdered. It was a good time.
Yeah. How was the pizza?
It was pretty good actually. I'd go back.
Well, a lot of people went back for a part two, and that is in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which we will be reviewing today. Before we get there, we got a couple things, not much. There's not a whole lot of news and stuff today, but that's okay. But let's begin with the obligatory creep tapes talk. This would be season 2, episode 4, Ava. Ike, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, this was a good one. This was definitely a good one. I think this one it didn't quite hit the same peak as the other ones, but it was good. It was fun. I will say there was a little nod to prior victims in this one. There are no spoilers, but in this, the our friend Peach Fuzz is playing the role of a sort of like animal rights activist,
Mm-hmm.
and he has these little wooden figurines of animals that are named and referenced to prior victims from the show and the movies.
Yeah.
He actually references the victim from the second movie where it said that he got me on the subway,
Yeah.
which is how that movie ended. If you've not seen that one, but yeah, so I thought that was interesting. It kind of followed a little bit of a different formula in terms of like how everything transpired, but nothing too outrageously new. But it was still entertaining nonetheless. If I had to compare this to the other three episodes, I would definitely say this one is a little weaker, but by no means a bad episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think the one thing, the best part of this is the ending, the kill,
Yes.
which was even by his standards a pretty vicious kill. And so I love, that's one thing I think I love books about this is just that balance of humor and viciousness. It's so twisted, and this one is no exception. So um, I don't know. It was pretty cool. This one is kind of you feel like it's a game of who's playing who, or so they
Yeah.
think. And yeah, as usual, our boys in control. And so yeah, it's a good episode. Again, I didn't think it was quite as strong as at least the previous two. It was right there with the first one, maybe because it was kind of that formulaic, which this one was too, I think, but it's still good. But I thought the last two were just so clever that they were, yeah, I think they were a notch above two, but still good stuff. And still looking forward to, because next one will be the Christmas episode, I believe.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. So all right, then, besides the creep tapes and besides Five Nights at Freddy's 2, did you watch anything else this week, Ike?
Well, in preparation of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I did rewatch Five Nights at Freddy's. Um, I did watch some gameplay of the second Five Nights at Freddy's video game that this is a sort of loose adaptation of. Um, and then I also watched, let's see, I'm still watching Supernatural. I'm on season 9, I believe.
Mm,
I just got to the part where Dean got the Mark of Cain.
yeah,
Um, so we're kind of getting on that track a little bit, which is I do like the Mark of Cain stuff. I think that
yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a little bit of a subversion as it pertains to the characters of Dean and Sam, because Sam was the one who had the demon blood at first, and now it's our boy Dino. So,
that's right. Yeah.
um, but other than that, I don't think I really watched much of anything else. We started rewatching Only Murders in the Building, which isn't horror; it's more thriller comedy. But it's still a fun watch if anybody wants to give that a shot.
Yeah, I watched the first season, maybe the second, I can't remember. And yeah, then I haven't got back on it, but let's see. The only thing horror related I did also rewatch the first Five Nights at Freddy's prior to this just to refresh me. I didn't watch gameplay or anything like that, but I did watch the first movie again. Um, so which is good. It puts me in a position to compare and contrast somewhat later, which I do. I have thoughts on that, and so but yeah, I think that was it horror wise. I don't think there was anything else that I recall. So okay, so we're just cruising right along. So let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll just have a handful of some birthdays, anniversaries, and stuff. So stick around. Make sure you subscribe to listen to their screams on your favorite podcast platform. Also, make sure you look us up on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, and Slasher. All you have to do is look up Listen to Screams. That is Listen, the number 2 in Screams, and you can find us there. Also, make sure you go and buy yourself a Listen to Their Screams t-shirt. You can find all of our shirts at tinyurl.com/Screams Shirts.
Spreading the news. Spreading the news. Spreading the news. And welcome back with the news. And we have no news. So slow news week. We have some birthdays, anniversaries, and an upcoming release. But
Yeah, the
that
only kind of news related stuff kind of that I have seen out there is just it's just stuff related to future releases well down the road. It's not like it's news. It's just like, oh, this is coming, but these are so far down the road. It's like, I don't want to talk about that yet. But yeah, nothing.
right.
I don't know. Apparently, everybody's taking a holiday break.
I guess so. But no need to fear. We'll go ahead and jump into some upcoming birthday anniversaries and stuff like that. So we only have the one birthday this week, but this is a good one. But we look at December 14th, 1948, the one, the only Dee Wallace. Dee Wallace has done, I mean, just so much stuff. I mean, just an obscene amount of movies that she's been in. But we're talking The Hills Have Eyes, The Howling, Frighteners, Cujo, Supernatural, as well as
E.T.
E.T. I mean, just so much stuff, horror and non-horror related. So, I do like her in The Howling, though. I
Yeah,
do have a soft spot for The Howling.
yeah. She's cool. I mean, she's exceptional in Cujo.
Yeah.
And her character in Supernatural was great too. She was fun. But yeah, it's she's great, and it's like anything. Literally, I see her name, I'm like, oh, that's something to watch. Just for her being in it. And I believe, did she not? Was she in Stream? Did she have a little bit of a little bit part in that too?
Yeah.
I
She
think
she had a
so.
cameo.
Yeah. So pretty much, if I see her name come up, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give that a watch just because of her alone.
No, absolutely. I mean, definitely, it's always worth a watch with D Walls, and even if it's just like a quick cameo or something. I mean, it's still to me, she's still continuing to do what she loves, which is horror. So, I cannot falter for continuing to just rock and roll and do this for as long as she can.
That's right. That's right.
But very good. She's still killing it. She actually has some stuff coming out next year still. I took a quick peek at her IMDb, so we'll see her next year.
All right.
But very good. We're going to jump now to, like I said, only one birthday this week, but a couple movie anniversaries here. Well, a few. We got December 12th, 1941, The Wolfman. Of course, we're talking about the OG Wolfman. We're not talking about Twilight, The Howling, or any of those Wolfman, Wolf women. We're talking about the original gangster as vampires, or I'm sorry, werewolves. Um, I have been a long time since I've seen this, but I know I liked it. I know Dave loves the Universal horror monsters.
Yeah, yeah, this is a good one. Lon Chaney Jr. Playing Southam there and playing the Wolfman. It's just Talbot, excuse me, Larry Talbot, and so good as the Wolfman. It is establishes so many of those Wolfman tropes that have been held over the years, um, were kind of at least brought to prominence in this. So yeah, it's really 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 a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. and it's iconic as well. We always talk about how the Universal horror monsters really set the stage for a lot of movies, and you know, Wolfman set the stage for so many future werewolf movies to be
And
made.
for 1941, I'm telling you, the transformation looks good. It's
Yeah,
especially knowing, again, we've said this before, they had to create some of this stuff. There's no standard. So a lot of these effects they're creating, and I think they did a great job.
yeah, absolutely. But very good. So Wolfman, happy movie anniversary to you. And the remake of the Wolfman too wasn't too shabby. So very good. But now we're going to jump to a little bit later in later in time, December 12th of 1997. We have Scream 2. Now, Scream 2 is a very fun sequel. Of course, we always talk about Scream in some way, shape, or form. I feel like
I know.
every episode, but this one makes sense. This one is very purposeful. You know, this is the right time of year for Scream 2. Um, and actually, I was just talking to Kayla the other day, and I can't remember what we were watching, but the guy Jerry O'Connell, who is in
Hmm.
Scream 2, he was in something we were watching, and I cannot recall, but I was like, "Hey, isn't that the guy from Scream 2?" And Kayla's like, "I have no idea." But yeah, he was in something recently, and I was like, "Yeah, it's
What?
Jerry O'Connell."
She's not that familiar with Scream 2?
She's familiar with Scream 2, but she just did not know who Jerry O'Connell
Ah,
was, I guess. Oh, it was Big Bang Theory because Jerry O'Connell
ah,
plays
yeah,
Georgie,
yeah, yep.
and she was like, yeah, I'm not sure who you're talking about. I'm like, Sydney's boyfriend, Jerry O'Connell, and she's
And
like, I don't remember.
she's not seen Scream 2 enough.
I guess not. I'll have to watch it again. To be fair, Scream 2, you kind of, I don't know, like there are some forgettable moments in that one, but I really think that Jerry O'Connell's death is a very memorable part of that movie. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah. And oh, I guess there was not really sort of news. I guess we could have talked about kind of related to Scream. I guess in an interview, Skeet Ulrich said that had they went ahead and done the third movie with Jenna Ortega and Melissa, what's her name? I can't remember her last name. Um,
Barrera.
Barrera, yeah, that the plan was for Billy Loomis to keep appearing to his daughter until transforming her into the new Ghostface or killing
Really?
Ghostface. That's what he says in this interview. So that was the plan talked about. So I don't know. That intriguing, which I guess they really kind of hinted at the end of what was it, six? There was that the last one, six?
Yeah,
With I think wasn't that the one where at the end she had the mask in her hand and dropped it in the street and stuff, and
it was.
yeah. So I think it was yeah. I mean that's what he says, and he's out there doing a lot of press for the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that we're reviewing, but so I guess this came up somewhere in one of those appearances.
Gotcha.
Interesting fact. It's lots of what ifs, but it's okay. I'm not complaining because I'm pretty excited about the movie we might be getting.
Yeah, I'm very excited about what we're about to get. I would be remiss to say that I would like to have seen Melissa Barrera turn into the killer. I think that would have been fun. But no, yeah, that's Skeet Ulrich is great. I tend to trust Skeet Ulrich when he says stuff. So,
Sure. Yeah.
but the things we have lost, I
Oh well.
digress.
Oh well.
But as they say, on to bigger and better things. It's unfortunate, Jen Ortega and Melissa Barrera were separated from that project for not going to get into the whys, but I don't think that it was a fair move on part of the production house. But again, I digress. In any case, we'll move now to December 13th, 1990, where we have the anniversary of Maniac Cop 2.
Mm.
I've only seen the original, but I know you said that the other ones are still pretty fun.
They are. They're all fun. I mean, I don't know. They're all pretty interesting. But apparently, another thing I read about this is Bruce Campbell's in this too, and apparently he does not like to talk about this movie or get questions about it because at that time of filming and everything, he was going through a pretty nasty divorce.
Really?
And apparently, if people go ahead and ask him questions at conventions. He gives them some of that Bruce Campbell sharp wit. So apparently it has become a thing for people at these conventions to intentionally ask him about this to get kind of blasted and razzed by him a little bit. So apparently that's if you want to kind of get roasted a little by Bruce Campbell and get some of that heat, and apparently bringing up a question about Maniac Cop 2 is the way to do it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Bruce Campbell, he'll pretty much roast you for
That's right.
pretty much anything. I mean, that's just his charm. Most of the time, he's joking. But I guess if you want to get legitimately, yelled at by Bruce Campbell, to bring up Maniac Cop 2.
That's
So,
right. I've seen him. I've seen him say things to people that have gotten up and left the room and different things and all kinds of stuff. It's fun stuff to me. But it's nothing to do with the movie. Apparently, it's just because of that time in his life and that divorce brings back bad feelings, bad
hmm.
memories, or that's what he says. I mean, we're talking whatever, 35 years. So I'm sure that wound's not too fresh. So maybe it's just become kind of a shtick now, a gimmick. Maybe not though. Maybe he's just like, I don't want to talk about that. Maybe he
Yeah,
doesn't remember a lot about it, because of what was going on. I don't know.
that's
Man's
what I was thinking.
man's
Maybe he had
entitled
too
to
much
it.
going on.
Yeah, it's his life. He's entitled, but I think it's kind of funny that
Sure.
people still force the questions in. Just the makes me want to do it now.
Right. Did you just go to a convention and be like, hey, question about Maniac Cop 2? Just to see him be like, ah, you motherfucker.
Yeah. No, I want to ask about Maniac Cop 1. Is that okay?
Yeah. The OG. I think that's all right.
Yeah.
Just don't say two.
Yeah. Anyway, two and three. They're fun movies still. I mean, even the first one, it's campy. That's part of the charm and fun of it. It's two and three just follow that same suit. They're very similar, and yeah, they're fun. I love the Maniac Cop trilogy.
Yeah, absolutely. But very good. So happy anniversary to Maniac Cop 2. We have one last anniversary this week, and it is December 15th, 1974, Young Frankenstein. Um, so I've never seen Young Frankenstein myself.
Oh,
I've seen clips from it because I know Gene Wilder is in it.
yes.
Um,
See, this is that one of those unique movies because it's like it's at its core it's a comedy. So it's like why talk about because this movie in spirit to me just it's just a universal horror monster film because it fits and in with them. So I mean they reuse sets that were used in Frankenstein and in some of those movies that were still there. They used the exact same sets and set pieces to get that same feel. They filmed it to have that spirit, but God, this movie is a masterpiece. It is to be fair, it's a comedic masterpiece, but it's so good. It's just I mean, from Igor, doing walk this way when someone shows up and he's got the hump and so the person mimics it. It's just hilarious stuff. Which, by the way, that line "Walk This Way" is what inspired Aerosmith to that title of that song "Walk This Way" is because of
I
that.
gotcha.
So it's a great movie. It's so funny, and the best Gene Wilder kind of way, Blazing Saddles and all those kind of things. Those are great movies. They're just genius, genius comedic work. And again,
Absolutely.
it fits in to me. It feels just like a spiritual extension of the original Universal monster movies to me.
I was gonna say this was probably made by a different company. I would venture to guess.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, but I mean, we're talking whatever, at least, well, probably 15 to 20 years after, at least after probably the last of the Universal monster highlights. But it's still, I mean, it's filmed in black. It's in black and white. It just everything about it. He plays, Dr. Frankenstein's brother in it and stuff. So it feels, it definitely tips its hat in a respectful way and has that same vibe and feel. And to me, it's just a natural watch. If you watch the others, you watch this. It's got the comedy, but it's kind of a dry comedy. It's not like over the top type stuff necessarily, but it works. It's a great movie. It's one of the best movies of all time. So good. Everybody should watch this. Should be a prerequisite that before you can graduate from high school, you should have to watch Young Frankenstein.
Have to watch Jane Frankenstein. All right.
That's right.
Well, I have that on my my list to watch, so
That's right.
I will give that a ponder at some point.
So good.
But very good. So that does it for our movie anniversaries, but we do have an upcoming release to discuss. Of course, this has sort of been anticipated. We've been talking about this for, I mean, just about a year. I feel like I remember us talking about this about a year ago, around this time last year. They announced that, hey, next year we're going to get a remake of this. But it's finally here. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night comes to theaters on December 11th, and it is described as a child witnesses his parents' murder by a man in a Santa suit. Years later, as an adult, he dons a Santa costume himself and embarks on a violent quest for retribution against those responsible for the traumatic event from his childhood. And we will be reviewing this movie next episode. Now, online, there's actually a scene.
Yeah, with the
That,
Nazis.
yeah, they put
Yeah.
out a scene from it. It's like a full on scene, like just completely cut from the movie. It's in the movie still,
Yeah.
but basically they're like, hey, we're just going to put this out there. And to me, I feel like it's a little timely.
Hmm.
But yeah, he basically just kills like 20 Nazis.
Yeah.
Um, which I mean, absolutely incredibly accurate
Hmm.
and just a very very promising little staunch into that. So
Yeah.
that's a good time. I'll be excited to watch this.
I'm sorry. I mean, if everybody should think it's okay to fucking kill a few Nazis. If you don't, then fuck you. And I got a few that somebody can kill. And but yeah, so it's again, it's a great scene. I saw that, but it's and that to me is I like that. The reason I say this is because in the original, yes, he was killing people, right? And but you didn't feel like he was a bad guy per se, right? He experienced this traumatic event. He was targeted. He was triggered in the original to you fall into this killing spree. And yes, and he had a objective. So, but I mean, if in this new one, you're right, he's killing Nazis. I mean, that's not a villain. So, I like it that he's kind of, he's he's misunderstood. So, and it's got Rowan Campbell in it,
True.
who's that's always good.
Yeah. Brian Campbell I think is going to be a very fun little addition to this whole shebang. I think he's starting to earn himself a little bit of cred in the horror community, and despite what people say about his character Corey in Halloween Ends, he still did a very solid job just
Yeah, he
portraying
did.
that character
Yeah,
despite some reservations about the film as an overall.
yeah,
But yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very excited for this. It's gonna be a good time. I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna watch this, and in my opinion, I think that I'm going to predict that it may not be better than the original film, but it is going to be a worthy remake in the modern age.
yeah. I feel like this is going to be one of those cases where it could potentially, very potentially, be equal in its own right because it's not. It's going to have its own kind of angle on the same thing. It's not going to be a shot for shot type remake, obviously, because the
Right.
scene they put out was not in the original. So it's not, but it's the same premise and the same spirit behind it. But it is going to be a fresh taking. Which right, if you're going to do a remake, do that right. Don't just make it predictable. And I never would have predicted Nazis in this movie. And but no, I think it'll be one of those movies where you don't feel the need to pick one or the other, right? You're going to be like, yeah, I love them both for different reasons and some of the same reasons. Because I was very concerned when they were first going to do this, but the more I hear, the more I think they're taking. Yeah, but I remember I did also say this was an ideal that could really be used now and not feel like a direct remake because it's a lot different world than when the first one was made, and so it is a concept that I thought was really had the opportunity to freshen up and redo. So I'm down. I dig it. I can't wait. I've gotten more and more excited the closer this has gotten. So
Absolutely. No, yeah, I'm the same way. I think it's gonna be a good time, and I think it'll be viewed upon positively. Um,
and who doesn't love a
and like
Christmas horror movie?
I was gonna say, we don't have enough of them. I don't think
No.
we have enough of holiday horror movies just in general.
No, everybody knows we love the holiday horror, so bring it on.
Amen. But all right, that does it for our news, birthdays, anniversaries, and releases. So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have our official reviews of Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Hey, Bruiser buddies, I want you to listen to Wrestling Nostalgia with Dave Dynasty. Every week, he has the roughest and toughest interviews in the podcast world today, with the best guests you could ask for. There's no bums on this show. Let Dave Dynasty be your podcasting tag team partner and listen to Wrestling Nostalgia while drinking beer, smoking cigars, and busting heads. Just look it up on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe today, cause the Bruiser said so.
All right, and we're back here on Listen to the Screams. It is review time, and we are reviewing Five Nights at Freddy's 2, because why not? The whole fucking world's talking about it. We might as well too. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying because we'll get to that in a moment here. Written by Scott Cawthon. Is that how you say his name? Cawthon? Cawthon?
Coffin. Yeah,
Cawthon. There
Scott
you go.
Coffin.
Which is the guy, right, who devised the games, right? Correct?
Sure is.
All right, there we go. I, on a side note, and I'll ask you this off mic because it's not really a spoiler, but it could be enough of what I'll ask you something off recording here. Directed by
Okay.
Emma Tammy, starring Josh Hutcherson, Piper Rubio, Elizabeth Lyle, and others. It was released December 5th in theaters, and of course is currently still playing. It'll probably be playing for a good little bit. Now, the reason that I say the whole world is talking about this is because this movie grossed 64,007,430 domestically on open weekend, which by far and large was good for number one. But I don't think that's his price. I don't think anybody thought any differently. And come on, everybody knew this was going to be the biggest thing over the weekend. But yeah, 64 million. Yikes! That's a lot of cash. And
Yeah.
here's my thing, and it's, I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it per se because I mean, we've talked about this, right? I have, I have a different perspective or no, approach, however you want to say it of this, because I don't have any knowledge of the games, not because I don't want to, it's just I don't, right? I've never played them, I've never really looked into them, dug into them. But the reason I said earlier I did rewatch the first one, and it was kind of compare and contrast because I'm gonna be absolutely straight here. I really think I like this one better than the first one.
Yep.
And I enjoyed the first one, but I felt like this, not even take into account the subject matter. I just felt this was a better made movie. First of all, I thought it flowed better. I thought this movie does a really good job of introducing some characters. Oh, that was I don't know if anybody heard that, but that was my cat's wailing back here behind me. Um, but it did a good job of introducing some characters through this and making you wonder, well, if you don't have the knowledge, right, of knowing who is that, and obviously you knew they were going to come back into it, and then right, and if you don't have a background in this, it's there are some nice surprises, right? You could speculate on some, at least I could. I mean, I guess I had enough general knowledge I could speculate on a little bit of it, but I just really feel like this movie had a better flow to it than the first one. And that's not saying the first one was bad or had a bad flow. This one just, as a movie, in and of itself, I thought this one was better made. I still love the fact that they don't try to overdo these movies because I really, I thought, after the success of the first one, the obvious success, and you knew this one was going to be a success, it would be easy and lots of people would have sat there and said, oh, I'm going to make a 2.5 hour movie. I'm going to put everything into it. And they didn't, right? It still was right at an hour and a half. I think it was what, an hour and 34 or something like it. It was
Yeah.
still that same time, which is, to me, that's great, right? You don't want to, man, when you've got something that's hot and it's working, don't think you have to do it all in one movie. And don't think you have to try to just beat the hell out of it, because all you're going to do is hurt yourself. And I think, I don't know. I just again, I liked, I thought the development of the characters in this one was a little better. Um, you connected with them a little more, I think, in this one than the first one, because there was more than just the happening. Like in the first movie, right? There was this happenings with these animatronics and blah 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 blah, right, and all that. But now you have these characters who are in these similar situations per se, but they have these the fallout of the first happenings. So there are, you saw with the three primary characters there, right? The I don't know what was, I don't know the guy's name. The Josh Hutcherson. I don't know what his
Mike.
characters. Mike. That's right, Mike. I knew that. Mike, and then his Abby, and then what was her?
Vanessa.
Vanessa? That's right. I couldn't remember those three, which to me are the three main characters here. To me,
Yeah.
the three of them, they experienced it differently, but they also came out of it coping differently. And you really saw that in this movie, how they coped with the trauma, because it was a trauma, right? I mean, let's don't lie about it. It was a traumatic experiences. And so they dealt with the, so you really had, to me, a better character development, a little deeper with that. Um, Again, I'm not super knowledgeable, but I would venture to guess, and I mean, you can speak on this here in a minute, that from what I saw, I think there's, I think there's probably enough. They introduce some new characters, some of the new animatronics and things, enough that will make some of the hardcores happy. I really, I feel, and again, I don't know, which again you can speak to a little bit, how much it sticks to the material, the source material, but I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really really good movie. And again, and I'm just viewing it as a movie, right? Because I don't have all the background with this franchise. So to me, just to me, all it is a movie franchise. Um, so I've really seen kind of a growth of the franchise in a movie wise that I really liked. Um, and I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't think this is a spoiler. I don't know that anybody would be surprised, but I don't know what circumstances would change this. But it looks to me there's clearly going to be a third.
Absolutely.
Clearly set it up. I mean, this one's making buku money, so I don't know. I don't know what would change that course, but which kind of makes me excited, because with the cliffhanger, right? It was obviously kept my interest, piqued my interest a little more. Of, oh, now I want to see what happens there. Um, so okay, I mean, I guess as a non devotee of the franchise, I've rambled enough. So Ike, give me your perspective, and having a little more. What am I trying to say here? A little more. I don't know. You got a little more skin in the game. You're a little more. I mean, this is right. This is there's a. I don't want to say well. I mean, it's kind of like a nostalgic thing, right? This is, you're invested in this franchise prior to the movies, um, which I have none. So give me your perspective from your side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me first say that I 100% agree with you in your assessment that this was a better movie. I do think this is a better movie than the first one. Um, Now, like you said, I definitely have a little more skin in the game, I guess, because when these games came out, I think 2013, 2014, I started playing them just right from the rip. So I've played essentially every Five Nights at Freddy's game up until like the more recent ones. Um, so as it pertains to the game, the thing about the games, and I think most people who've played the original games will probably admit this, the original games don't really have much of a story. The original games were sort of made to just be a very simple, like play this game, have fun. And as the games proceeded, they got a little more complex and they got a little more lore heavy. And the reason I say that is because the second game is a little different than story wise in this, which is not a bad thing, right? They basically loosely adapted Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the video game, because a lot of the animatronics, like the toy animatronics, the marionette, the puppet, however you guys want to say it, all of those animatronics were from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Mangle, and so forth. Um, so they have so far stuck pretty solid to like the generic overview of the original two games. And like you said, there is definitely going to be a third game, and it's definitely going to be about our third movie. It's going to be about the third game. Um, so, but for me, I do agree that there was a lot of introduction of characters and animatronics. I think they did a very good job of making it make sense for the layman. Um,
As a
I
layman,
think,
I can attest to that.
yeah, I kind of felt like, you know, so for instance, me and Kayla, we both know the lore pretty well. Like we know a lot of the intricacies. We either watched or played the games in some way, shape, or form. So for us, we went into it looking for like the Easter eggs. Um, one of the Easter eggs, and this isn't a spoiler, but from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Bonnie is the blue animatronic. That's like the rabbit.
Rabbit, yep.
So in the video games, there was a possibility. It was a randomly generated event where you would see what a creature called Shadow Bonnie, and Shadow Bonnie would just appear randomly, and I don't know if it could kill you, but basically it was Bonnie without its face, but it would be like kind of like a demon looking thing. That was in the movie.
Hmm.
It was very quick, like see it and you forget it. Like it was so quick, but it was in the movie, so I thought that was really interesting. And there's some other ones that I won't say because I think they're a little more spoilerish, but that one's not too spoilerish because, I mean, it doesn't really have any bearing on the story. Um, but no, I mean, it was really great. I mean, like the movie just overall to me was a very solid story. To me, this was a very solid adaptation of the original film or movie, and I think that it to me is starting a track, right? We're starting to propel towards a larger narrative because there's so many video games, and I can already kind of see where this is going. This movie introduced another character too that is from the video games, and I'm not going to say it because he's not in the trailers. He's not named in the trailers, so I won't say it because it could be a spoiler. Um, but let's just say the security guard from the other location is a little more important than you might think. And
I assumed.
yeah. But without getting into like the real nitty gritty, because me and Kayla, we were like throwing around theories and stuff like that about this movie. Because I have a very, very solid theory. Because I originally thought that the puppet was going to be his Ike's brother from the
Mm,
first movie.
yeah.
Um, he was not. That's not a spoiler, but he is not in this movie.
No, they're still
But I
dangling that
think that
carrot.
he will be. Yeah, he's gonna be somewhere. I have a feeling. I can feel it in my bones that somewhere,
Well,
somehow,
yeah.
we're gonna see him.
Well, and there was a mentioning of something right towards the end of the movie that I wondered was not a. I wondered again, just from my perspective, whether it was a mention of him. If
Mm,
that's it, they didn't answer the question of what this thing was speaking of when it said this. But I wonder if who he's talking about is his brother.
gotcha.
I don't know, but I don't know, or if it's the aforementioned character. I didn't know which one he was talking about, but
I gotcha. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'll answer you when we're not recording. Um, but no, and like you said, there's actually two. So for people who are curious, there's a mid credit scene, and then there's like a little audio clip at the very end of the movie. Um, I don't know if you heard the audio clip.
I did not know.
You said you didn't hear it.
No, I did not hear it.
Okay. So I'm not going to say anything since it's technically a spoiler too. But yeah, there's an audio clip and a mid-credit scene. I think both are going to lead us into the next movie in some way, shape, or form. Um, but like, it just, like you said, I can't imagine that they're not going to make a third one at this point. It made so much money. It is so popular right now. I mean, they are just killing it, and they're pumping out books and they're working on more games. It's just I cannot imagine that they wouldn't make more, at this
Yeah.
point. But overall, like you said, because I'm rambling at this point, everything was great about this movie. The acting was great, like you said. The portrayal of the trauma from the first film translated over. This is all in the trailer, but Mike very much is avoidant,
Hmm.
um, but he's avoidant as a protector.
Yeah.
Vanessa is still dealing with her father and the fallout of that, and Abby just wants her friends back. And maybe we do see her friends, maybe we don't. But I think it was really good how they played it all out. It was a very good way to tie up the loose ends from the first movie, but it was also a good way to really give us a strong lead into a third movie because I already know where they're going to go with it, and I'm so excited for it because it's going to be even better. This is going to be one of those rare cases where I think every movie is going to get better because they're going to dive deeper and deeper into like the overarching narrative of Five Nights at Freddy's and like what it's all about. So I'm overly excited for the next installment already.
Yeah. And I actually thought this movie was also a little scarier than the first.
I agree.
I thought it had more tension, more creepy parts. And part of that I think has to deal some of it has to do with a couple of the new characters introduced, kind of added to that, one in particular to me. But yeah, I mean let's just say there's there's a scene relating to boats in this that kind of or a boat ride that kind of creeped me out. It was again, I'll tell you, like, if you don't know what I'm saying, I'll tell you when we get there. But
Yeah,
it was super creepy. But
yeah.
for me, so
I think I know what you're saying though.
yeah. So okay, all right then. Let's again. It's I don't know. Does that mean I can't say I really can't say a lot of negative here. I'm mean, to me, I'm just going to give this thing a 4 out of 5. I don't think it was absolutely perfect. Again, I don't know if I'll ever give anything a 5 because it's a weird standard to me that it's hard to do. But comparatively speaking to things I've given 4s in the past, I think it's right there as far as enjoyability. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 screams. Ike, what are you?
Sorry, you cut out just a little bit. What'd you say?
I said I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 screams. What are you giving it?
I am going to give it a 4 out of 5 streams as well. Um, I don't remember what I rated the first one, but I don't want to give anything more than a 4 right now because for me, like I would give all of these 5s, but like at the same time, I know that there's improvement. We've not gotten a perfect Five Nights at Freddy's movie yet. Maybe the third one will be perfect. I don't know, but definitely, yeah, we're on the right track for sure.
Yeah. So all right. So if you've not seen it, go. Which who hasn't seen it at this point?
Right.
Go see it, and if you have, maybe go rewatch it. But also make sure you go out there if you have the chance and watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is coming to theaters soon, and what we are reviewing next episode. So I am looking forward to that as well. Before we get out of here, we'd like to say thank you to our wives and all of you listeners and followers for your support. Speaking of followers, make sure you subscribe to us on social media. We're on pretty much any platform. Just search for Listen to Screams and you will find us there. We post lots of cool stuff. So go and check it out. So before we close, Ike, it was probably a good episode to have kind of a light news day because I figured the review would go a little bit longer than some of our reviews do. So I think it balanced out in the end. But before we close out, Ike, anything else you want to add?
Oh man, really just is everyone go out there and support this movie. Mostly for selfish reasons. I want another movie, so the more money that this movie makes, the more likely we are to get a third movie. Um, Outside of that, I actually sent Dave a picture of it. I bought the two most recent Terrifier 3 Funkos,
Hmm.
which is one of them just art, and the other one is the what's her name? Victoria holding the
Yeah,
art head.
art head. Yeah.
So with a lot of some of these Art the Clown Funkos, they have chases, which for people who don't collect Pop Funkos is like a rare variant, which could be any number of things. But this one was a blacklight variant, and it kind of has like some weird like inverted colors. But I got one, so I got lucky and got the chase. I sent Dave a picture of it, but yeah, I got lucky on that one. That's the first one I've ever gotten.
Now you got to need a black light.
I know. I was telling Kayla, I was like, I need to get like a blacklight wand or something just so
That's
that I
right.
can see what it looks
No,
like.
no, just need a full black light. So then you can get some of those 70s crushed velvet like Tiger Dayglow posters and stuff. Just you really got to commit to this. So
Gotta take it the full nine. If I'm gonna do it,
that's
gotta
right.
do it.
That's right. Just like you're in a basement in Wisconsin. Is that where it was? That 70s show, Wisconsin? Yeah, it was Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It was Green Bay or near Green Bay
Yep.
or whatever. Or
That's right.
whatever. So anyway, and also go like we said, make sure you go support Silent Night, Deadly Night. And the main reason I want to see this one supported is I want to see Rowan Campbell get to do more horror movies and get to
Yes.
do bigger roles. I really dig him, and I think he's going to be great in this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. But I want to see him in some more big horror movie roles. So, or just other roles in general, just anything, but selfishly horror. So, just go check it all out. I mean, I think I don't know. Maybe there's some other horror movies out there that I'm not. I don't even know. Just go support it all. Uh, Anything that's in the theaters, Screenbox, Shutter, everything. Just go watch it all and support it all. So until next episode, when again we'll be reviewing Silent Night, Deadly Night. Wherever you go, whatever you do, be good, be safe, and have many pleasant nightmares.